today I have some magic to do. So to do that, I'm gonna go over there, all the way up a little ways up. That's Brady Valley, and I'm gonna go up the mountain to find a secluded place to speak to Brigitte and her mother, the Morrigan, and get some help for some friends. And I go up there and where the air is thin and knock on the sky. All right, so we're coming up to the base of Silverjack Mountain. It's called Silverjack Mountain because within it they found a great deal of silver. There's a mine just there, just down at the base, and so I like to use it because I see a great deal of convergent power in silver, and so a mountain that's full of it is obviously going to have a lot of pure energy to it. Isn't that gorgeous up the valley there? Ooh, it looks nice. There's a place way up there, about 6 kilometers. It's called Crown Land here in Canada, where you can go and settle that. And if you improve the land for 5 years, you then have yourself a home. And I plan to do that in the next couple of years up there. It's a really nice little tiny mountain lake. It's not even on any charts or anything, so I'd dearly like to get up there and check that out. Here's this is an old area of forest fire. This is a testament that a forest fire is not always a bad thing. As you can see, this is just a little swath of it, but this was obviously really old growth, like it is in there. Not the healthiest forest anymore. But yeah, here it was burned a little bit. This is like a man-made. This is to prevent this section of the forest and that section catching. If there's a fire, then it would stop here, theoretically. So yeah, that's fire prevention. Work with it instead of against it. And as you can see, the land is very lush. After a fire, this is 3 years of growth. Beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to be heading way up there, and I'll talk to you when I get up there. And here I found already, I'm about 3 steps up the mountain, and I found a nice, really dry piece of birch bark. The most sacred fire to me is a need fire, which is lit by friction. So I think today's ritual, I may give that a shot. It's been a while, but I do have an owned stick with me, so, or an ogham stick with me, so I should be able to, but we'll see. Anyway, this is foraging. Keep your eyes on the ground and up in the trees and all around you, and make plenty of noise so you don't sneak up on the bears. A quick word on the power of intention and manifestation. Earlier on, there's big dark clouds over the mountain here. It was windy. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility to have a snowstorm up here this early in May. On a normal day, I may have said to myself, yeah, maybe another day. But today, because there is great need, I manifested. And I said, no, it's not going to rain. It's not going to be cold. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a wonderful day to go up the mountain. And it is. It's a little breezy, but it keeps me from getting too hot. So, you know, if we could apply that not only to times of great need, but throughout our daily life, then we'd be a lot better off. I think I just saw the first butterfly of the year. Isn't that wonderful? And here is a nice bit of old man's beard, lichen, which is something I collect a lot of because I use it in my soaps, and it's the second most primary ingredient in my self-made deodorant. So on the way back down, when there's time, I will come up and grab a little bit of that. Blessings, blessings. And I've stumbled across a game trail. This is a little trail through the woods that's either been used by game, like deer and elk, or by predators, like wolves. Now, if I had stumbled across this in an unfamiliar place, then I'd be curious, I'd be cautious, and I'd be watching out for myself. Being that I know this area, and this is familiar to me, I know that this is where the wolves bring their kills a lot of the time. So I've found many a bone here. And as I'm a little bit low on bones at the moment, and I have some bone-related plans, I'm going to go and have a look. I think this also could be just a place where they ambush, right? See, there's a little ledge down here. It's a little lower than up here where I am. The deer may come down here going towards water, and the wolves would sit down there. And when a deer goes by, they can have them trapped. That's nature's way. And that was a bust. Nothing down the game trail. But always worth a shot. Always worth a shot. You never do know. I really enjoy areas like this. Just as we come into summer, everything's in full bloom. Still lots of old man's beard though. It's odd. It's usually gone by now. Dried out and blown away. But yeah, all this beautiful lush foliage in here. And I can just use laser to keep things out of my path so I don't have to cut anything down. Which is always nice. Get yourself a good staff if you plan on going out. Something to lean on. Take the strain off of your bad leg. Everybody's got a bad knee. And, you know, it's also a good self-defense mechanism. Especially when it's brass bended. You could really make something think twice. Anyhow, passing the game trail and moving on up the mountain. Check in shortly. Now, if I had some time to devote, if I came to a little wee grove like this, I would probably set up a shrine. And I have in this place before. But I'm talking about an exploration trip. This would be a good place to stop, put up a shrine, exercise gratitude to the universe for this beautiful place, and you know, stop and have a snack, and which is another sacred thing. Feeding yourself is part of the circle of life. Yeah, and there's probably lots of good foraging in there too, but we don't have time today. That's a note for another time, and I will visit and show everybody what goes on in a little grove, mountain grove, 2,500 feet above ground, above sea level. This is where the staff or walking stick really comes into play. When it gets nice and sharp incline like this, I'm essentially moving one foot, putting my staff down and pushing and pushing. And this way, my weakened left knee is not really doing that much work, and the staff keeps me solid from falling. Very important. We're getting there now. And stop it for a minute just to get the pack off for a minute, catch a breath, and to see this beautiful vista. It's really nice with those new growth forest in front of me, and then the old growth, and then the Selkirks across the valley. Yeah, truly beautiful place. You have no idea how grateful I feel to live 45 minutes by foot from this spectacular place. And I encourage you to get out. There's probably a similar place within half a day's drive to you. You know, get some tent gear, find a cabin rental, whatever. Get yourself out and find something like this. Even if you spend 7 hours coming up for the distance I just came, it'll be worth it, believe me. And if you do go backpacking or hiking, make sure you have a good bag. This is on the back or side carry. It's all leather, so it is completely waterproof. The leather itself could be used for a lot of things in a pinch if needed, splinting or whatever you want. And you know, it's worth the money, and it's worth the effort to make sure that you have something like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna get that back on and get back on my horse here. And this is the type of stuff we come out for. Look at this beautiful mountain sage. Absolutely lovely. I'll steal probably the biggest leaves off of that and let it go. Let it keep growing. Come back in a couple weeks and see how it is. It's a pretty short season, so I would definitely harvest everything above ground before solstice, because that's when that'll be finished. Beautiful. So we're getting to an altitude now where you have to go. If you're going quick, you got to go in bursts, stop and breathe, or go really slow. And probably approaching. Haven't checked the phone. My phone's got perfect data, and I have an altimeter on here. But I'm assuming somewhere around 2,700 feet. And climbing. Way off there in the distance now. I came around Duck Mountain enough that you could see the sort of the watershed of Duck Lake. That's a turtle sanctuary down there. And grizzlies. The grizzlies cross the valley right here. They mate on the other side of the valley. The sows go over there and mate, and then they come back here to have their cubs. And yeah, so that's what that is. It's nice to see it from above. I've never even thought to really look over there in the distance. New phone and all this gadgetry, you know. So back out of the open and into the woods now. Not much of a view of the valley left down over there. What a gorgeous day. Absolutely beautiful. Just enough wind to keep it a little bit cool. Blessings abound. Blessings abound. Just continuing my hike. Oh, there's another butterfly. Just coming up to the locale of my beehives, and judging by the general humming in the air, they seem to be happy this spring. They're down in their ways, and I don't have much time for them today, but as I say, it sounds like they're here and happy. I planted a great deal of bulbs down there, perennials that the bees enjoy, so that they would always have a reason to show up. And they have. I think I have close to 50,000 of them, starting from scratch. I didn't buy any. I just built the hives and planted the flowers, and came back in a couple months, and there was a few, and then more and more. And it just keeps going like that. Oh, the air is getting thin up here. I think I'm at about 3,000 feet now. And you can feel it. You can feel it. You know, maybe not so much if you're living in, say, a Calgary or a Denver, where it's a normal altitude for you. But you come that way quickly, it sneaks up on you. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm having fun. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning piece of deadfall here. Should probably move that. Somebody could come along here on a quad and get wiped out. So we have moved the log. Carrying on. Gets really quiet up here. There's not a whole lot of critters that like it this high up. And the plant life gets a little narrower in scope as well. You don't see many flowers. Very few mushrooms way up here. But lots of trees. And it is getting cool. The temperature drops significantly at this level. So I have brought a warmer jacket just in case. But I don't think I'll use it. I don't think it will be necessary. We had a lot of nasty wind this spring. You can see it's really knocked a lot of stuff over. A couple power outages related to that. But a beautiful spring nonetheless. Still heading up. It's nice to have come to this switchbacky section though. It's a little less invasive, a little more enjoyable. I could do that all the way up. Takes a lot longer. And I feel like without doing that really rugged first section, the commitment isn't there. And that's the point, is I want to show absolute conviction and commitment. Wow. That's a really nice piece of birch. Makes me want to carry that down with me. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, commitment. It's universal exchange. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of deal. And an homage, I guess, which is never a bad thing. And it starts the circle that the ritual completes. And may it ever be unbroken. Now, you may remember me going on a week ago about some polypores that I found down by the mire. And here, up here, amazing how high we are. And there's some growing on there. So, I'll recall the location. The best thing to do is to look for a lay in the land a milestone of sorts. Back there, there's like a bit of a steep gully and trench and a little hill. So I just tell myself a couple 100 yards past that, Polypore Central. You wouldn't believe the alchemy that you can do with those guys. Unbelievable. So I just hit 3,400 feet, and it's yeah, the air's pretty thin. Steep going now again, and unfortunately I still haven't caught a great view of the valley from up here. There's a lot of big trees up here, so hard to find a vantage, but I will. Rest assured I will. Yeah, 3,650 feet up. Pretty nice up here. I just had a little ritual fire. Get a spell. That's what that looks like. There's the spell. All in me sea salt jar. So yeah, I'm going to tuck that away and head down the mountain. Talk to you soon. So, just came down from almost the mountaintop. We're pretty close here, about maybe 300-400 feet from the top. And yeah, I did a little bit live showing this earlier, but I see that got all grainy and shit. Stupid Facebook. So, thought I'd just take a wee bit of video of it as I turn towards home, back down the mountain. May take the slow way down. Still pretty early in the day here, so might just take the switchbacks all the way down. The steep incline can be a biatch on the way down, but you know, I'm really glad that everybody tuned in. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned, hope you appreciated, found some gratitude, and now I'll be watching for stones and things on the way down. Take my time. Ritual's complete. I've done all I can do.